"Look at this guy, he has lost his mind." He kicked through the railing on the 36th floor, then he forced open a gap with all his strength. And without any hesitation, he squeezed through it, facing the terrifying height of hundreds of meters. He calmed down and started to feel some regret. But the thought of waiting to die up there crossed his mind, so the man stepped onto the railing of the 35th floor. He had only made a phone call, but a sudden gust of wind blew in, and the door slammed shut behind him. He pulled out his key but couldn't get it to work. He pushed harder and harder until he heard a snap. Half the key was left in his hand. He was completely dumbfounded. No time to overthink. He had to find a way out first. He slammed into the door and kicked it with everything he had, but the door didn't budge an inch. After multiple failed attempts, something suddenly occurred to him. He grabbed his phone and called his girlfriend. But before he could explain anything, his phone died. And this abandoned, unfinished building had never had electricity to begin with. He found a wrench in the kitchen, then angrily swung it at the lock. But he missed and ended up hurting himself. After calming down, he started looking around, searching for anything useful. His eyes landed on the brand new television. He made a bold decision. He stepped on the base and pulled the screen upward. Soon the new television was torn apart. Then he walked to the balcony, shoved the screen through the window and let it drop. 10 seconds later, it finally hit the ground. Hearing the crash, the man jumped with joy. But by dawn, still no one had responded. The railing was his only chance of escape. Over the next few days, he started sawing at it. But no matter how hard he tried, he only managed to leave tiny scratches. The man geared up and headed to the balcony once more. He kicked and stomped at the railing with all his might. He used every ounce of his strength, repeating the motion like a madman. When he saw the railing break, he was momentarily stunned. He held back his excitement, forced the railing open and squeezed through the gap. He pulled the belt from his waist, gripped the railing and crouched down. With no safety equipment, he began his high-altitude escape. He tied the belt around the railing, secured it with the buckle, then grabbed the belt and climbed down. He quickly reached the bottom. Finally, he let go and released his grip on the 28th floor. His body instantly dangled in midair. He swung himself back and forth, and at the exact moment he released the belt, he found a foothold. But before he could celebrate, a new problem arose. This floor had no balcony. To get inside, he had to shimmy along the ledge. He carefully inched forward, pressing both hands against the wall. At the corner, he nearly lost his footing. He steadied his rhythm and fixed his eyes ahead. He carefully stepped over the gap, took a few deep breaths. He knew he was close to making it, so he didn't dare let his guard down. Right foot first, then his left foot followed. Before long, he touched solid ground, with victory within reach. He held back his excitement. He was about to reach for the glass door, but no matter how hard he tried, it wouldn't budge. He braced himself against the wall, risking being knocked off, and kicked at the door with all his strength. Finally, after relentless effort, the glass door was kicked open. The man dragged his exhausted body to the entrance. He tentatively turned the handle and the door actually opened. He was finally saved. Warm sunlight washed over his face.